Right, Marv. I mean, we're all about being true. So just remember, we're here for you.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, thanks, man. You heard it from John G. and TripGear. Again, we just want to thank you for hanging out with us.
Yes, sir.
As John was saying, we're getting quite a few hits. We want to thank you
Yes, sir.
for hanging out with us on this Sunday evening. Shifting gears a little bit, we want to go back to talking about surviving
Yes, sir.
the holidays. Surviving the holidays, and it's amazing what the Spirit does, because the three areas that we wanted to focus on that's going to help to thrive during the holiday are all centered around relationships.
Yes, sir.
The first one being the relationship with God.
Yes.
The second one being the relationship with others, and Marv kind of hit on that
Yes,
a little earlier today. And then a healthy view and relationship with self, which is really the premise of the gift.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, understanding that we are gifts is a healthy relationship, a healthy view of self. But also, I want to I want to throw too. It goes right along with surviving the holiday. The 5 principles that we've been trying to talk about
Yes,
here
sir.
for a while. The 5 principles to thriving as well, which are prayer. John mentioned
sir.
that
Yes,
your
sir.
sister was trying to talk
Yes,
to you
right,
about
right.
that. There's prayer. We talked a little about, and then there's praise.
Yes,
And I
sir.
always say that it is a sad day in the life of a Christian when we can't find at least one thing to be thankful for,
Boy.
right?
Yeah.
So there's prayer, there's praise, and then there's perspective, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to name this show SMP3, for the proper perspective.
Yes,
And
sir.
then because perspective can be everything, and in this day and time, and going into this season,
Yes, yes.
how important you guys think is
Boy.
perspective?
I mean, that's perspective and prioritizing. As Marv, all of us just talked about that. Is prioritizing, understanding that the election is not the end.
It's not the end.
It's not the end. I mean, God is in control, and as we all agree, it's all good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all good.
yeah.
So I think you
Marvin.
have to.
Marvin reminded us
Yes,
of
yes,
that in
yes,
a
yes,
second.
Yes, sir.
yes. So you have to have. I mean, I tell it's 800 million people that don't have access to clean water in the world, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2 billion have
Yeah.
has problems getting clean water. It's like half the world. So once you start, as you said, Mark, everything, if the Christian doesn't have something good to say, then
It's a sad day.
man, they need to reassess who they are, what they are, and where they're going.
yeah.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
And I like that thought that John went with. You know, he's letting us know that our perspective has to be informed by other
Right.
things around us. So in that
Yeah.
regard, he's saying
Yeah.
informed by what other people are going through,
Boy.
which allows us to see how blessed we are, which is a
Absolutely.
very important perspective. And I want to attack it from another angle, and that's
Yeah.
allowing our perspectives, wherever they might be, to be informed through God's lenses,
the Word.
right? Through the Word. So it gets to the point where I know I myself, I don't really have much to say if not for the Word of God. Like he talked
Come on.
about, bringing a message. I find if I'm to get up there and somebody wants me just to talk, I don't have nothing to say, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even feel like what I say will be valuable. So why would I would never even dream of standing up and trying to conjure up some stuff that's just wholly of me, right? Only for me. And so I think it's important just to let our perspectives to be informed by something that's unchanging and eternal. Because you can look down 10, 20, 30 years from now, and the world gonna be saying something else is right.
Yeah.
Right.
Today this is right, and we should do this. 10, 20 years down, now this is wrong, and this is right. You know what I'm saying? So what is it? Let your stuff be on the rock, eternal, unchanging, and perfect. And so I think that's where our perspective should be birthed from.
Yeah. I heard a minister friend of mine say that we really don't know the truth about our situation until we've heard from Jesus.
There you go.
Right? Until then, and only then can we get the proper perspective, which is one of my favorite illustrations, because our perspective is also directly connected to our attitude
That's it. That's
about
right.
things
Right.
too. And a lot of times it's not necessarily the circumstances and situation; it's our attitudes about what happened.
That's right.
What's my attitude about what just happened in the election?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that is going to determine
That's right.
my behavior, with my attitude about it. But one of my favorite examples and illustrations of a great attitude is David. not before he was king, right? In between that period of time where he was anointed and he fought Goliath. Right. Now here's one of my favorite illustrations is, and a lot of times we don't do a good job at delivering that message about David. See, because people forget that by the time he got to Goliath, he had, with God's help, he had already killed a lion and bear with his bare hands.
Yeah.
So check this out. By the time he got to Goliath, it was not an issue,
right?
He didn't just walk up to the giant. He had proof. He had some things that God had brought him to. Now look, now he walks up to Goliath, right? Here's a proper perspective after what he's gone through. He walks up, he sees the guys, right? God's army. These guys fearing the giant, and they're saying, "Oh, he's so big. How can we win?"
Yes.
Right? And David's looking at them as he's gathering his rocks and he's getting his sling, and he said, "He's so big, I can't miss."
right. Hey, that's good. That's perspective for you right there. That's easier target. Right. Yeah, I like that.
That's powerful.
So, I like that. Yeah. So when we talk about perspective, until we hear, see, he had heard from God.
Right.
You know, he had heard from God when God allowed him to kill the lion and the bear.
That's right.
By the time he got to go ahead.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful illustration, and that definitely is, you know, that opened up a new pathway of thought for me. And I also think it's important that with David, you know, his confidence, like you said, was not of himself. So if it was just him, right?
That's right.
He would have doing the same thing that everybody else was doing, right?
That's right.
But it was the faith in God, and that's important for us when we look at stories like David. You know, a lot of times we want to be that hero. We put ourselves in the hero's shoes,
right.
But really, in reality, in who we are in our flesh or in our natural state, we the people on the sideline. Like, what we gonna do with this dude? But it's important to know when you're rooted in and you really trust and believe in God and what he's given you the ability to do, then you will be given the courage of a David for whatever your particular situation is in your life. So whatever your giant might be, you got the giant backing you. So, you know, you got it, man.
Perspective.
There's so many stories in the Bible, so many different perspectives that we can gather and gain information from a spiritual, practical application. We just need to start taking advantage of that, you know, because it's important so you can be not only a testimony for yourself but for other people. We forget that God made us relational people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So in order to be able to do that, you have to have a perspective. And just like both of you gentlemen just said, the perspective has to be of God first and foremost.
Yeah.
You know, because if our perspective is just of ourselves, it's going to be all jacked up. You know what I'm saying?
And our immediate situation.
That's correct. You got to put Jesus in front. You know, I always talk about the LGBTQ. You got to put Jesus in front of it. This is what Jesus believes. So I believe what Jesus believes. So we have to get there, Mark and Marv, and be consistent and be encouraged and be bold.
Absolutely.
You know, yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And this is really a perfect time. You're talking about thriving.
Yes, sir.
This is a perfect time. Listening to that illustration about David, this is a perfect time to look back and see how far God has brought. You know, those spiritual markers at a time like this are really important. And I know a lot of people don't want to look back. And I got to challenge you too. If you're looking back and you still are feeling shame and you still are feeling guilt, then go to God.
There you go.
Right? Because somewhere along the line, there's a forgiveness that hasn't taken place. And, and it probably has to do with forgiving self.
That's good.
But looking back and on those spiritual, have you ever noticed in Scripture whenever the children of Israel went through a milestone, you know, when God took them in a direction or He did something for them that He had never done before, which He's good like that, right?
Yes. There you go.
They would mark that area.
Yes, they did.
You know, they would mark that area. They put a stone there, boom, and they call it Bethel. That's Bethel. Right. You know, God help you, right?
There you go.
We'll see all through our lives, like David with the lion and the bear, all through our life, God has given us spiritual markers. And you ask yourself, has God brought you through some things?
There you go.
Has there ever been a time in your life where you didn't think you were going to make it?
Right.
And then you're standing here today. What's that all about?
And what you just said, man, every testimony is a perspective. Every single testimony that we have is a perspective. And if we can be reminded of those testimonies as perspectives that can change our lives. And we have to love ourselves. We have to
Come on,
love
somebody.
ourselves because
Yeah.
a lot of times
Healthy
people,
love.
they're gonna say bad things about you, and we can't agree with those bad things, you know. So it's all about, like Marv said, it's all about love.
Right,
Yes,
right.
sir.
Right, and just real quick, I think God has forgiven you. So if anybody needs to know that today, God is willing to forgive you for anything, right?
Yes,
There's
sir.
nothing, a sin too big or too dark. You can never out-sin the grace of God. So if you're struggling to thrive through those things, remember that God has already forgiven you. So,
Yes, man.
or He's willing to forgive if you come
Yes.
to Him and ask for it.
And I think, like we said, thriving through the holidays is about having the right perspective and also being around the right people. You know, I keep saying, you know, when you're around people that can get you down, or people that help you make bad decisions or bad choices, so you have to surround yourself with people that have like minds. Now, you don't have to stay with the people because you want to get out of the world and help them out also. But you need some people that think like you, that are in love with Christ like you're in love with Christ, and then you can develop an even better perspective of who you are and where you're going. Because as a people, we can be lost sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about being, as we said, it's all about being real. It's like, it's just real talk.
Right.
You know, it's about talking to God, telling him what you need, and listening. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, is listening to what He has to say. Because He's going to have some stuff you might not like, He says.
Oh,
you know
no doubt.
what I'm saying?
No doubt.
You know, you just get over it.
Amen.
It's all
Let
good.
it grow you.
I like that. It's all good.
Yes, sir. It's all gravy.
So we're going to be talking about this
Yes,
for the entire holiday season. Again, we want to thank you all for joining us here. And Marv, why don't you go ahead and give us a closing thought,
Okay.
and then we'll go ahead and close out for today. It's been great.
Yeah, as a closing thought, I just wanted to reiterate the fact that, man, we gotta love each other, man. And I don't care what your race, your religion is. I don't care what it is. The foundation to build upon is love, and God is love. And so we gotta root our lives in Him. And so, as my closing thought, I just want to challenge each of us this week to set a bar, to set a goal for how you're going to react to people when they make you mad at work today, or set a bar for what you're going to do when something happens. Because really, when you go out into this world every day, you have to kind of assume that something's going to happen. Everything ain't going to go right, even though we want it to.
Right.
You got to assume that something is going to go wrong. And the question that you have to ask yourself is, when something goes wrong, why react in love? Why let the devil do with me what he wants to and make me act out of my character? So let's love through it. And that's what I got to say, man. All love.
Love through it. John
Yes, sir.
G.
Saying the right word at the right time to the right person can change that person
Right now.
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 You know what I'm saying? Word.
Yeah, and hopefully we're going to see everybody next Sunday at
Yes.
Sunday School. You're listening to SMP3 on Black on Black Network. Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Yeah, peace.
Walk with God.
Yes, sir.
That's popular.
That was good stuff. That was good stuff.
Greg gonna be okay. It's the second time they lost in a row.
I think it's the third time.
Was it?
Oh,
We had
they lost
that
3 in a row?
I think so.
Man.
Dang.
No, I think it's 55 is when we cut off because so it won't flip over before 9 o'clock. Because if not, then our music falls off.
Yeah. Greg showed me how to do the switch back on track, which is right there. So to keep it from doing that, what happened is it switch automatically when the song ends.
I don't know. Right, I just know, right, I'm just saying at 55 we all stop our shows. That's why I was telling you we had 2 minutes.
Oh.
We stopped at 55, then we stopped at 55.
So I was pretty close, right?
Yeah, but that's why, but when you were saying I had time, I'm like, no, I
55
was
should be
trying
the
to.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we stopped at 55, don't we?
You can't talk to me while I'm
We were
doing
kind
it.
of
Well, I was
close.
trying to.
We was a little off
I
right
gave
there.
you. Look, I gave you the 2 minutes. I
I
didn't
thought
know.
you said peace.
Look, when he give y'all 2 minutes, what that mean? When he like this, like this, like this, that means
That's right.
I got the same thing he did. I'm
Yeah.
like, 2. You got 2.
You off.
You got me, sis. You got me.
Good stuff, brothers.
You know who this is, right?
If not, you know, I'm
Yep.
listening to
Young
Jay-Z the
Donnie.
rest of the night.
What'd you say?
I said, if not, Jay-Z might come on and listen to that. That's my slow music.
I heard that. Word.
What was that?
What did that sound like? Birds or something?
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, what was that? Was that my?
I think that was you, man.
Well, I don't have internet.
Birds
bro.
done took over your joint, man.
Dang!
Yo,
Well, I know Mars close.
yeah, birds took over, man.
I thought that
Oh,
was
everything
I know
took
it's part
over.
of the music.
Like, I know it's not me.
I was wondering that too. I'm like,
I'm like,
hey.
dang, I'm like, Mars, what you want? What you
Yo,
on Instagram, bro? I'm like, what are your
No,
people
man.
posting, bro?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, Ronnie, someone broke your phone? What's this like going on here? Is it that? The line on your phone?
Is it blinking? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
cool.
what's that noise?
I don't
I don't
know.
know what the
Where
noise is, though. What's the noise? Is that your computer?
it's from. No. Yeah, it is my computer.
Got it.
God.
I think that he's trying to play it off. Like, yeah, what is that? Nah, man, that was too casual,
I
man.
do have that. I do have them going over there.
I don't have the internet on.
What kind of computer is that, man?
That's NV some
HP.
HP. Yeah. I got it because it's small.
Yeah. Get the streamline.
No, you good? You good? Okay. Two shoulders.
Yeah, oh,
Appreciate it.
It was doing something sometime. Let's see what it was doing.
You should switch.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, what's that? What's the phone right now?
Oh, no, man.
What's going on?
Oh, you know I was watching.
I'm like,
No, I'm on.
You got all the stuff going, boy.
No, that's.
Yo.
Oh,
Phone shining off, boy.
Somehow I switched to the live.
Oh,
No, we were
okay.
live.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
we was live, yeah. I went to show Mark, and Mark be like, "Oh no, we live."
Right.
Yeah, we were live.
That was dope.
I mean, on my phone, somehow
You
it showed us. Yeah,
clicked into the feed.
yeah, got the feed. Yeah, that was tight.
Mhm.
Okay.
It was delayed, but I seen both. But I can see all of us talking now. That was nice.
That's
Yeah, I
nice.
seen all of us. That was nice. The Cowboys are 8-1 now?
Yep. No, 9-1, ain't it?
No, I think it should be. I think it's 8.
Oh,
They were 7-1 when
oh were they?
they when they won the last. Yeah.
They doing it like that this year?
Yeah, they are, man. With a rookie at QB and a rookie at the RB. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No wonder Chris Williams talking crazy.
Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
He been talking crazy.
But I ain't giving nobody their props until they beat New England. That's what I need.
Ain't nobody. There's no rookie quarterback gonna beat New England. You know
Man.
that don't happen. Yeah, they
That's what I'm
have.
talking about.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And I'm not a New
I
England
can't
person, but
stand him.
yeah, but no rookie